lost some soldiers at war and I can get them back. My younger photo by guns, he wanna get them wet. I should've talked to his mom, she way better than that. But he too hurt and distraught, it ain't no turning back. I lost some soldiers at war.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Thanks for tuning in once again. As you can see by the title, you guys, I'm going to be talking about how I use my VA loan to purchase my first investment property while in the Army. It's going to be broken down into two videos. I'm going to give y'all a third video when I'm actually at my property so you guys can see it and everything like that, all right? So get your writing material, get comfy. You're about to have a conversation because it wasn't all glitz. It wasn't a smooth process. I actually had some hiccups. I learned some shit, and you guys gonna learn some shit right here from me, all right? So let's just get into it. So first and foremost, I was not looking to purchase a property when I did. I was gonna wait until I leave Korea. So yes, I'm teaching Korea right now, right? And I was gonna wait until I leave to purchase this property. But you know, in the midst of doing my research, I found that actually I'm in better financial standing than I thought. I'm kind of an extremist to the point where it's like, you know, you tell me I need $10, I'm gonna show it with like 100. And yeah, so I was doing my research. I researched a couple lenders, a couple banks and everything like that. So I'm not gonna say who I went through, but I will say that I came across this one bank, and that's when I noticed that, wow, okay, I actually in great standing. Join this Facebook group. It's called Vetted VA. The people there are completely selfless. They helped me a great deal. You know, they even do give you, I did ask for like some recommendations on banks to use, a lender to use. A lot of them recommended to use a local bank in that area. Some of them do not allow you to use the VA loan to get a fourplex. My goal was to get a fourplex, okay, a quadruplex. That's 4-unit home. So I want to have a multifamily. Some banks only allow you to take out a VA loan and only occupy a duplex and nothing more than a quadruplex. So what I did was I started asking questions like, hey, you know, this is my financial standings right here. I'm making this much. I owe this much on this. I have this type of this, or whatever the case may be. I'm telling him my financial standings, and he's like, actually, like, you're freaking doing great, you know, and I think you'll be qualified for a lot of money. He asked me what my goal was. I told him what my goal was, and he said, you should definitely get that. I'm pretty sure you'll probably get more than what you're looking for. So he ran my credit, and lo and behold, it was like a lot more than what I was looking for, double than what I was looking for, you know, at a crazy low rate. I'm gonna get into this a little later. So there's a thing called the seller's market and the buyer's market. So currently, right now, you guys, because of COVID and everything that's happening in the world, we are currently in a seller's market, which means that banks are giving out loans for an extremely low rate, right? And what then happens is everyone starts to like go try and buy property, right? Try to like go take out a loan from the bank. So what they do is, so now with the sellers, they notice that. So what they do is they hike up the prices, right? So right now we are in a seller's market, and that's something that I learned too. So, you know, make sure you guys understand that, okay? So what I'm saying is, you guys, we probably run the risk of purchasing property that's a lot higher than what it really is worth, right? Because of the extremely low rates that the banks are currently giving out. I'm locked in at this rate for one entire year. I already knew I was going to be going home, you know, that summer of 2021. So I was like, you know what, I'll be okay, you know. And then I was just like thinking, I was scrambling. He's like, you know, you get a power. Do I have anyone that I trust to get a power of attorney? So I'm like, yeah, of course I have someone that I completely trust. So that's what I went and did. I went and got a power of attorney. And I don't recommend this, but my situation is different because I'm overseas. And I was like, man, I gotta capitalize on it. So like I said earlier, you know, my goal was to get a multifamily. I wanted the quadruplex, right? I wanted the most that I could possibly gain, you know, and this is where it gets crazy with the VA loan. The VA loan have rules that's just insane, but don't be scared because they're there to protect you, you know what I mean? And like I said before, research the banks because not all of them allow you to have a quadruplex. And you'll see as the story unfolds why the VA loans is just crazy. So first and foremost, to use a VA loan, one of the units have to be vacant, okay? So if you have a duplex, if you're trying to get a duplex, one of those units in that duplex need to be vacant because VA loans are strictly residential. It's for you to live in. So for me, it was a little difficult because a lot of the properties in the area were all filled. All the vacancies was filled. So I was looking. I kept looking, you know? So then it got to me asking them to see, hey, do you have anyone like tenants that's about to end their lease? I would look on like Realtor or Zillow, and the houses would be there for like not even 2 days, and then immediately they're like under contract, and it's just crazy, you know? I'm telling you, this is a seller's market, and everybody's just trying to eat up, trying to take advantage of the very low rates that the banks are giving out, right? So that's another thing, you guys. If you notice that all of the units are filled with tenants, try to ask the seller and see if they have any tenants in their property that's about to end their lease, because that definitely played a big part. It was extremely hard for me to find a property that have one vacant unit. So that's a big thing. The VA loan will not allow you to purchase a property with all of your units filled. Okay, so while I'm here looking for properties and everything like that, I will go on emergency leave. You know, some things happen and I went on emergency leave. So while I was on emergency leave for a month, I decided, hey, I might as well just go on and meet up with my agent. So it's another thing too I want to add. Okay, so certain banks give you an agent, all right? They already equip you with an agent in that area. Some of them do, some of them don't. Okay, so while I went on emergency leave, I decided to go and meet up with my agent. I already spoken to her, so I look at 3 properties, 2 duplexes and 1 quadruplex, which is what I really wanted. Here's a look at the to-do list that my lender gave me. So yep, I found me a property, put it in the offer, negotiated, you know, who's gonna pay the closing fees and who don't. And then we go into business, we start. So immediately after I went and get an inspector, I hired an inspector. He charged me about $1,500 to inspect all 4 units. Even then, from the day that I requested him, it took him like a week because he was just all backed up. I think I went to like 3 different inspectors and it was just all backed up. And this guy, he was able to do it, you know, the fastest, the soonest, right? So waited a week for him to do it. And then in about 3 days, I got back a 50-page bunch of admin work, pretty much telling me every single nook and cranny thing that was wrong with the property. And then my agent, she ordered the termite inspection. And while you're doing all this, you guys, you're sending all this admin, all this paperwork to your lender. After that, the lender then orders you an appraiser. So another thing, you guys, that frustrated me that I was not aware of was how many hands that was in the pot with this thing. Because me personally, I hate waiting on people. I hate middlemen and everything like that. But with this process, there's so many. And I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. I waited about a week for the appraiser to go out and inspect the property. And the appraiser's job is to just make sure that the property is in livable conditions, you know? So they come in and they inspect pretty much, just do like a second inspection, but nothing as detailed as the first inspection. And just make sure everything's livable. The VA does not allow you to buy a fixer-upper. So if you're thinking you're gonna buy like some vacant property that's beat down and busted up and you're gonna go fix it, it's not gonna happen. It has to be in livable condition. So here's the frustrating part. The appraiser comes back with the reports. Well, he didn't have any reports actually. I could not get that property appraised for the simple fact that he could not find sales that was for that type of property at that price that he was selling it for. So remember, like I told you guys, the VA is there to protect you. Even though I was extremely devastated, I still was happy I didn't pay that much for that property because I actually ended up paying like $100,000 less for my property now than for that one, and a much better area too. At that VA loan would not approve it at all, and that was it. So first property was not happening. At this point, I'm back in Korea. I'm already devastated. I'm heated. I'm like, damn, I need to get this thing. So now I'm like, man. So I go back on my computer looking up properties, and then I find another property, and I'll ask my friend like, hey, go check it out. Like, go check it up for me and let me know what you think. Blah blah blah. I got her in contact with my agent. She sent me videos. He was on FaceTime, everything like that. You know, shout out to Lindsay. You know, she a real one. So she went and looked. at the property for me? And she's like, yeah, girl, this thing checks out. So I'm like, yes, let's do it. So here we go again. You know, I'll go put in the offer.